Okay. All right, let's go ahead and we'll start with the word of prayer. Dear Father, I just thank you so much for every single person on this Zoom meeting right now. God, I thank you for this opportunity that we can get together no matter the different states that we're in, Lord. And I just pray that you speak through Aaron and I, that we can learn this morning how we need to take our thoughts and our words captive, and just some even biblical truths to that, God. So we just love you and thank you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Okay, so I recently went to a little workshop called Get Motivated. And one speaker really stood out to me. I can't think of his name. That's how much he stood out to me. But he wasn't in the program, but he suddenly got up there. I don't know if he just rushed the stage or what, but he got up there and he started talking about just taking your thoughts captive about the subconscious mind and the conscious mind. And so this man was a millionaire by 30. He had this beautiful family. He was madly in love with his wife. He was a godly man. And so he had a wonderful life. But he was telling us in the beginning that every time he would tell anything to his dad would say, well, don't get your hopes up. And so he would tell him this idea, and the dad would say, well, don't get your hopes up. And so he finally listed what I just listed about him. I was a millionaire by 30. I have a beautiful wife. I'm madly in love. I love my kids, on and on and on. I've spoken in front of the president, all this stuff. And he was like, what do you not want me to get my hopes up for? Like, my hopes are up. So he had to overcome those negative influence. And a lot of times they are done by authority figures. And my family is one of the most amazing, loving families. But there's something we've told ourselves. From the time I was little, my family would always say, we are beautiful and we are big. We are a big, beautiful family who love to eat. And so from the time I was little, even in high school when I was very thin, my family would still say, we are not like those other skinny people. We are big and we are beautiful. So I have never struggled with the fact that I'm beautiful. I've always had a self-confidence that I'm an attractive person, but I've also always struggled with my weight. And I think a lot of it is my subconscious mind. So we're going to learn a little bit about the subconscious mind. Basically, the subconscious mind controls your conscious mind. And yet it affects your feelings. It controls your feelings. It is way, way, way more your conscious mind controls your subconscious mind. So your conscious mind is way, way weaker than your subconscious mind. He gave an example of like an ant. So your conscious mind is like an ant sitting on an elephant, which is your subconscious mind. And the ant tells this elephant what to do. Every action it's going to make, everything it's going to do. The subconscious mind is so much powerful, but it listens to what we consciously tell ourselves. And so things that we tell ourselves go into our subconscious mind, and the subconscious minds control our actions. And so when we tell ourselves we're big and we're beautiful, your subconscious mind will take that as an order. So everything you tell yourself, your subconscious mind takes it as an order. And so I told myself, well, our families, we're just big boned, we're just big people, my subconscious mind made it so. And so what I've been learning through Plexus, what I've been learning just, through some psychology classes as well, is that you have to feed your subconscious mind what you want to act on. So if you tell yourself, even little things, like if you tell yourself, I can't afford that, that is telling yourself, I can't afford that. Well, your subconscious mind takes that as an order. You can't afford that, and I will not find a way to afford it. If you're telling yourself in this business that I'm never going to be an emerald, I'm never going to be a diamond, your subconscious mind is telling your actions, you're never going to be a diamond, so don't do that, don't do that. If you're going to tell yourself, I'm too busy, then your subconscious mind is going to say, you are too busy, and I will not find the room to do these things. We have this going on, this going on, this going on. So we have to be so careful about what we're telling our subconscious mind, because it's taking it as an order and it's directing our actions. So I it was this verse here. I have to use my phone, which I'm now zooming on. So I was looking at different verses because this is like such a biblical concept as well. And I came across Ephesians 4:29, and it says, "Do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouths, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs, that it may benefit those who listen." So do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouth, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs, that it may benefit those who listen. So that's something Erin and I were just talking about as well, that, oh, you're gone, hold on. So we were just talking about, let me find my Zoom again, sorry, on my phone. My husband takes my laptop lately. Okay, so you can see me, okay, good. So we were talking about who listens. So this is so good for your team. We need to find out for our team what they need to hear, what lies they're telling themselves, and Erin's going to go over that a little bit, like finding out what lies we're telling ourselves. And then also for yourself, we can say these things, but if we're not believing them, we need to believe them so that our subconscious mind is going to listen. So if it's good for others, it's so easy to say kind things to others, but look, the first thing I did when I got on the Zoom was start talking about how horrible I look today. It is so easy to be mean to yourself, to be down to yourself, and then that your subconscious mind takes it as an order. And so one thing this guy told us to do was to every single day, this guy who is a millionaire, who speaks to the president, who speaks to all these huge, every single day, he takes a notebook and he writes out the same thing in his notebook every single day. So he said, you need to find, so those authorities that maybe put some negative thoughts into your mind, you need to find out what those are. So for me, it's that I will always be big. I will always struggle with my weight. That is something that I've kind of been told my whole life, first from some authorities and then from myself. I tell myself, and even when I am trying to lose weight, I still always have that, well, I'll never be completely thin, but I will, I can be smaller. So I have to, the one thing I'm going to, because I just learned this, so I haven't been doing it. I mean, I've had affirmations, but I'm going to be writing it down. He said you have to write it down in your own handwriting. No tablets, no computers. You need to get a notebook and write it every single day in your own handwriting. And you need to target those lies that you've told yourself. Is it that you're not going to be successful? Is it that you're never going to be a jewel? Is it that you'll never be thin? You'll never be healthy? So every day I'm going to write down, I am healthy. He said, make it in the present tense. I am healthy. I am loved by God. I am worthy. I am generous. These things that I strive to be, I'm going to write them down every single day so I see them, so that my subconscious mind believes them and acts on them. And so I know Erin, she was kind of sharing with me this voicemail that she's done, and it's saying, I crave healthy food. So one thing he said not to do is not to put it in negative. So I'm not going to say, I do not, let's say, I don't know, like I hate that I'm fat or something like that. I hate this, or I am not going to be like this. Instead, you put it in the positive. So my husband and I have kind of argued about this for some different stuff with our middle daughter. He'll say things like, Ellie, if you keep going this way, you're going to end up in jail one day. And I get so mad at him because I say, no, don't put that in her head. Instead, say, Ellie, you are a leader and you are going to do amazing things. Don't you want to strive for that so much more? And Ellie actually came out to me the other day, and it was shocking to me because recently, about I don't know how long ago it was, several months before we got the Omega X, she had some lab work done, and her cholesterol is high for her age. And so we kind of hit it hard with her cholesterol, with our diet. We're not, eating really healthily. And she came out the other day, and I said, Ellie, you can't eat that. That has cholesterol in it. You can't have that. Don't put any cheese on that. And she said, it doesn't matter, Mommy. I'm going to die when I'm 20 anyways. And so this was something that she's been telling herself, that I had no idea that she was going to die when she was 20. So I had this talk with her. I said, Ellie, every single day, I want you to look in the mirror. I want you to say, I am beautiful. I am loved by God. I am kind, because that's something I want her to work on as well, because she's not. She is. She will be. So I want you to say, I am kind, and I am going to live till I'm 100. So I explained this idea to her, like, by telling yourself you're going to die when you're 20, your body's going to believe it. Your subconscious mind is going to believe it. But if you can tell yourself that you are healthy, that you are beautiful, and that you're going to live till you're 100, your body is going to start making the changes. Your mind is so, so powerful. It is the most powerful thing we have. That I was telling Erin the other day that I never hiccup anymore. Whenever I get the hiccups, I just say to my sisters laugh at me, but I get the hiccups, I just say to myself, no, I will not hiccup again. And I literally do not. And I have been learning so many things like about your mind. It is powerful. And so I just refuse to hiccup again, and it cures it every time. So next time, try that when you try hiccuping. And I've been finding that with all sorts of things, like, no, I'm not angry about this. No, I don't have a headache. I've done that as well. And if I say it over and over and over again, my body decides, like, oh, okay, well, I guess you don't have a headache. My bad. I thought you did. But I guess you don't. And so anyway, so you want to write it down in your own handwriting. You want to make it present tense. You want to make it positive, and you want to do it for at least 90 days straight, every single day. So you can add to it or whatever, but whatever you say, if the first line is, I am healthy, make sure you do it for 90 days straight. I am healthy. I am loved by God. I am a jewel. I am, doing it first for it to really soak into your subconscious. Do it for all areas of your life. He was giving an example. He had, one of his was, I have positive things to say, and everything I touch turns to gold. So he had it for his business. He had it for his family. I am raising godly children who will be like, a great asset to society. And so he had it over his marriage. He had it over all aspects of life. And then write it even when you're doing the opposite. Even when the night before, maybe you slipped up, you ate a hot fudge sundae or something. The next morning, I am healthy. I love healthy food. Just keep doing it. So I think that is all I have. The thing he left us with is that what is going to grow? You've all heard of like that example of the wolves, like if there's two wolves and they're fighting, which one is going to win? It's going to be the one you feed. And so if we're feeding ourselves negative thoughts, doubting thoughts about ourselves, that is what is going to thrive in our life. But if we are feeding ourselves positive thoughts and how God views us, that is a huge thing in my life. Like, I have had to see how God views us. And I think it helps having kids, because when our kids try at something and they try and they give their hardest and they fail, you still love them. You still think they're amazing. They still have great abilities. So being able to view ourselves as God sees us, instead of maybe the limited thoughts. And I'm not saying that our parents like mess us up or whatever, but it's the whole world. We live in a negative society, and we tell ourselves negative things, and ourselves, our family, our friends, that's our first inclination. Sin has taken over this world. And so we need to take our thoughts captive and not just let them run wild. We are not ruled by our feelings. Just because you feel one way one day does not mean that's what you have to act on. And I've said that myself. Well, that's how I feel. Well, that's just how I feel. And we use that as an excuse. That is not, our feelings are not the truth. And so we need to take our feelings captive by feeding our subconscious mind the truth and the positivity that is there. So, all right, Erin, you take over and tell us how.
Okay, so I have been, as you all know, been reading 10 million books over the last year. Amber, I'm going to mute you.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Thank you. And so I have like this stack here besides my Bible. And because I, as you all know, came from such a habitual, fearful, negative place, I knew that in order to get to where I wanted to go, which is Diamond, I would have to change what I thought about myself and what I thought about my business and what I thought about my abilities. So and besides reading all of these things, I went to a Sonia Dudley leadership coaching / self-development training a couple of weeks ago, and I loved it because she kind of culminated everything that I had read into one. Well, actually, it was like a 4 or 5 hour training. So a few things that I want to share with you that I came away with. We think between 30,000 and 50,000 thoughts a day. So what are you saying to yourself? Most of the time it's as simple as, oh my gosh, don't forget your lunch today, or I've got to pick up the dry cleaning or something like that. But we have so many thoughts that are habitual, usually starting with I can't, or it won't, or I don't, or something like that, always with a negative, that, you will be with yourself. You're the only one who won't leave you. So you can cut off negative people from your life, but if you yourself are negative, it doesn't do any good. So one thing that really stood out to me, your thoughts either make you bitter or they make you better. And when you are comparing yourself to other people, what is it doing? It's making you bitter. When you are saying I can't and I won't, while looking at everybody else who can and will and does, you're making yourself bitter. So you need to choose to make yourself better, not bitter. One of the things that's really big in Plexus is that we say to our teams, I'm here to cheer you on. You know what? You cannot cheer on your team unless you are your own best cheerleader first. You can say it, but when you are not sincerely cheering yourself on, how can you give? We talk about how we all have needs, right? And we have needs that need to be met in order to meet the needs of others. It's even an example when you think about wealth, too. We want to be able to give generously, but first we have to survive ourselves. We have to meet our own financial needs. It's the same thing emotionally and being a cheerleader for your team. You must be your own biggest cheerleader. Okay, one of the things, God did not give you the junk that is in your head. None of that stuff that you are saying to yourself is biblical. Nothing. That is Satan using fear to cause you to stop progressing. I guarantee it. Okay, so think about that too. What you are saying to yourself, you would probably never say to your children. She gave this is from one of the books, a broken furniture analogy where, let's say you have a beautiful home, and in your beautiful home is broken furniture. You have a chair that's lopsided. You have a couch where the springs stick out. You have a table that's like short on one side, and so is really irritating to sit at. So one day you decide, that's it. I can't stand it. This spring has torn my jeans. I'm getting rid of all this furniture, and you move it all out into the garage because you're planning on taking it to the dump and getting rid of it forever. And then something comes up, and you just can't get to the furniture store, and you still can't get to the furniture store. And oh my gosh, it's been a week, and you still can't get to that furniture store. You are so glad that junk is out in the garage, but man, you got to go get new furniture. And then the next thing, your mom calls and says, I'm coming over. I'll be there in an hour. You have nothing to sit on, no place to sit at. You run out to the garage and you pull all that stuff back in. So when we think of our negative thoughts as broken, unhealthy, broken furniture, and we push it all out, if we do not replace it, it comes back in. And the only way to replace it is through repetition and habit. Those thoughts that come in your head, those 30 to 50,000 thoughts a day, most of them are unwanted, unheeded, and not purposeful. So you have to replace them purposefully, intentionally. Okay, so we're going to talk about how to do that in just a few minutes. Before we get there, understand that your brain is a muscle. The more you relive a thought, the easier it will be to retrieve it. And I'll give you an example of this. The other night, Amber and I were about to do a training we have done a million times. I mean, I have talked about this thing over and over and over. And right before, about a half an hour before our training, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing with this. I don't know what I'm doing. I got to go see what all the other diamonds, how they're training on this. And I'm like frantically looking up and listening to all these diamonds who I've already heard before, and I had no need to listen to whatsoever. They weren't saying anything I didn't already know, learn, and practice myself. And I closed the lid of my laptop and I said, I already know all this stuff. I am a jewel. And it's out of nowhere. And Bob says, yes, you are. And I said it again, I'm a jewel. I know this stuff. And walked in and did my training with absolutely no fear, no hesitation whatsoever. Now, a year ago, those 2 small affirmations I said to myself would not have been enough. But for a year, I have been saying to myself, I am a jewel. I know what I'm doing. I know how to train. My people want to follow me. I am a leader. I'm doing a good job. And I've been changing my thoughts. When we went to Leaders Retreat in October, Rita Davenport stood on stage and she said, if you were a jewel, come up here. I actually started to stand up. I was not a jewel. In fact, I believe I was Ruby because I went senior Ruby that month. But I literally was going to bodily stand up. And my heart started beating hard. I thought, oh my gosh, what am I doing? But my mind had changed so much that I believed already that I was acting in such a way that I had a physical reaction to her invitation to Jewels. So that's where I want you guys to be. Amber talks about writing down for 90 days. Do you know where we'll be 90 days from now? We'll be sitting in convention. And I really hope that when they say Jewels come up on stage, that you have a physical reaction as if you're going to go up there, even if you are not there yet. I don't care what level, what rank you're at. I hope you have a physical reaction to get up. Okay. God shaped the universe with his words. Language is the most powerful thing on the planet. Not just what we say to others, but what we say to, especially what we say to ourselves. God designed us to accomplish things through the use of our words. You think about how powerful a motivational speaker is, how powerful a pastor is when they give a really good message. That is the use of language. He also gave us a desire to write. That is why writing down, getting through your fears and then writing through affirmations are so powerful. Not typing. It's something about the actual written word that you have put down that's so powerful. All right, so what we are going to do is change our programming, because programming creates beliefs. Beliefs create attitudes. Attitudes create feelings. Feelings determine your action. And then action creates results. Just like my physical thought of getting up, just like when I was sitting on the couch listening to all these diamond things, because all of a sudden I had doubt and changed my wording and was fine. Okay, so your belief drives your behavior. Did you know that fear is so powerful? 99% of people will not go outside their comfort zone to win a contest, to get a raise, a bonus, a prize. They won't do it. Even if they really want it and really need it, they won't do it because fear holds them back. So I look at people who really are so close to ranking and they don't push and they don't go for it. I know without a shadow of a doubt, it is fear that in their own mind that is holding them back. They have a block. So we're going to try and get through those blocks today. Belief is formed by a reoccurring process or event. Those words you were saying to yourself, they came from somewhere, just like when Amber was talking about, but you alone have continued to nurture them. Yes, you can. Sorry, my children are home for spring break. My lip is like... Okay, go get some Vaseline. Okay.
Erin, sorry. Can you repeat what you just said? Belief is formed by what? A reoccurring something?
Yes. Belief is formed by a reoccurring, where did I find it? Where did I have that? Process or event. And for us, it's going to be the process of changing the way you think. And I'm going to give you specific ways to do that. All right. If you want to lose Xbox today, you stay in here. If you want to keep it, you better go. Sorry. All right. We are on to my page of, okay, change your thoughts. This is our goal. If you change your thoughts, you change your beliefs. You change your words then. The words change your behavior, and your behavior changes your destiny. Guys, that is what I had to do. I was broken, and now I am whole, and I can take all that wholeness that I have pushed through and give it to you. And that is that's just, and I don't think I've arrived. I don't think anybody's ever arrived. I think if you think you've arrived, then you really have some growing to do. But you know what? I really embrace all that negativity I had because I'm really thankful for it. It puts me in a place to help you. Okay. All right. Here we go. We are going to do how to identify your fears right now and then how to overcome them. So here's the nitty-gritty. Here's the homework. And it's going to coincide with Amber's thing too. You have got to unlock your fears. You have got to be willing to go there. So I'm going to give you some ideas on, oh my gosh, please. I don't know why, but my thing is, there we go. Okay. All right, you need to ask yourself, where do your fears stem from? And I'm going to give you a list of what most people fear. This may not be you, but this is most people, so this can kind of help you with a starting point. Fear of failure. That's the number one thing. Before they even start, people are afraid of failing. And you know what? How many of you, raise your hand, if you have helped a child learn to ride a bike? Okay. If that child had a fear of failing before they ever got on, how frustrated would you have been? And once they first got on it, did they know immediately how to? Absolutely not. They fell, they got back on. They fell, they got back on. They fell, they got back on. Over and over and over and over and over. Fear of failure is the number one thing that holds us back. Imagine how many kids would not know how to ride the bicycle if they just stopped even trying because they had fallen off a couple of times. Fear of success. I really believe that wealth has become a bad word in our society, and it should not be. Because it is, if you look at the history of missions, for example, originally the church sent people to the other countries and other areas to really evangelize, right? Then there was a period of time where the church became kind of like a political power. When America really started profiting through their form of government and economics, that is when money started being poured into missions. Missionaries cannot do what they need to do without financial support of those who have wealth. Plain and simple. When you make more, you can give more. And I think sometimes people are afraid that they will not be good stewards of their money. You are a good person. You have a heart for others. If you are in Plexus, it is not about the money. You know why? If it was, you would be doing something where you sell something and walk away. Plexus is about relationships long before it's about money. It's about helping and nurturing other people to be the best that they can be, long before it's about money. So, if you have a fear of success, identify it and tell yourself you will be a good steward of the money God grants you. You will be blessed. He will find favor with you. All right. Fear of trading security for the unknown. All right. So this is doubt in network marketing business. It is more comfortable. Remember the whole contest thing? 99% of people won't try and go for a contest. That's because they're more comfortable with fear. And you know what else? Most people around you don't want you to change. They're comfortable with who you are right now. And if you change and do something different than the 40-40 and what is expected of you, it makes other people start looking inward, and that's uncomfortable. And people don't like to be uncomfortable. We talk about the American dream and, you know, having all this comfort around us. We get so comfortable in who we are, we don't really live. And then we don't want others to succeed either. I was in that place prior to Plexus. When I would see something good happen in someone's life and it kept happening and I got annoyed, delete, defriend, goodbye, because I didn't want to look at myself. I'm just being transparent. But I do, so now I understand when someone defriends me, or if someone talks differently to me when they see me, or like there's this weird, is she gonna say the word Plexus? I am. You know what I mean? So people are, and I love them where they're at, But I do believe, I think like even the lower ranks, if there's something comfortable about the lower promotions in Plexus, because once you get past it, you have to lead. So if you are uncomfortable or don't believe that you are a leader, you might find yourself staying in one place. And I really think that if you dig deep and change your affirmations to be about yourself and to be about what you can be and what you need to be, your rank, those promotions will come. Okay. Next one, fear of what others think. You guys, did you know that people think about you for about 1 minute and then they're thinking about somebody else? I actually used this on my husband when we went to dinner the other night, and it was so hot in the restaurant, and he had on a t-shirt and then a sport type overthrow shirt on top, and he went to take it off, and like his whole shirt started to come off like way up, and he's like, oh my gosh, I can hardly sit here now. And I said, people thought about you for about 60 seconds, and that was it, maybe less. The end. And it probably wasn't as negative as you think. So it really, we think about ourselves constantly, but really other people only give us a fleeting thought. They really do. Okay, so fear about what others think. And by the way, your friends are not paying your bills. So who cares what their opinions are? They are not paying your bills. They are not living your life, and they are not living in your skin. All right, fear of pushing others away. So this is the idea of, I don't want to be that girl. I don't want to be that guy, that person who walks into a room. Guys, that you've got to change how you think about yourself, how you think about Plexus, and how you think about your opportunity. If that is your issue, that you are afraid of pushing others away, whose issue is it really? Because I have never seen anyone on my team. I don't see anybody right now on this call. I don't see, if you're watching this and wanting to develop yourself, you are not a pushy person. You are a bold, courageous, nurturing cheerleader who wants the best for others. All right. Next one, fear of being overextended on resources. This is where excuses come in. I don't have time. I don't have the money. You have the time, and you know what? You have the money. And change excuses into needs. If you don't have the money, That's why you need a $34.95 business. If you don't have the time, this is why you need Plexus, so that someone else is not dictating your time for the rest of your life. You be the dictator of your time. That is our entire goal for my husband and I, that we now will dictate how much we work and how much we get paid. No one else. That is being a slave. This is being free. So change your excuses into reasons why you need this. Okay, now here's the next step after unlocking fears. Where do these fears come from? Amber talked a little bit about her family and the idea, that really wasn't a fear, but it was the idea of something that had been planted in her head, so she just always kind of accepted it and went that way. So if you have a fear about something, if you have a hurdle, where is it coming from? Where did you first hear it? Maybe it was yourself, maybe it was outside of you. Whatever it was, be willing to go there and identify it. Stop saying, I should be here. I hear this all the time. I've been silver for such and such a time. I've been gold for such and such a time. I should be. No, stop that. Turn it into, I am learning. I am learning. I am moving. I am progressing. Okay. Really, all of this comes down to perspective. I will never forget Melissa Eichenhorst talking about her very first opportunity meeting. She had a sip and see in her, she didn't call it that, but kind of like a sip and see in her own little home with 6 people there. She pulled out the compensation plan and showed them in the stair step where she was, and she said, I am a silver. And she was so bold and so excited about being a silver. This was after being with another company where she was really close to advancing near the top. And she was so proud of being silver that no one else in that room doubted her whatsoever. And that is amazing. If you are a silver ambassador, you are a silver ambassador. You are an ambassador, a messenger of hope. That is amazing. You are amazing. Okay. So Sonia Dudley gave an example of someone who, this really spoke to me too, of someone who has had cancer. 2 people have had cancer. There are some people, you know they've had cancer. It's obvious and they will let you know. And then there's other people you would have never known. Never known. We have a jewel that her name is Dawn. She had breast cancer, and that girl is one of the most her vitality and her vibrancy, I would never have known that she went through cancer treatments. It is all about her attitude. It's amazing to me, just amazing. So your perspective is everything. Okay, now here's your task. So you identify. That is the very first thing that you do. You must be willing to get there and identify your fears. List and then write them out. You write it down. You know why? And I actually think you need to speak it out loud too, because that makes it real. So I would say get with a partner, find somebody, a sideline in Plexus, a power partner, your spouse, a good friend, somebody, and go there. Write down and then speak out what you were fearful about. Then you replace it. And this is where Amber's homework comes in. You can do one of 2 things, or you can do both. I'm going to do both. But you've got to replace it now with affirmations. And you must make it positive. So instead of saying, I'm not afraid, you say, I am bold. I am courageous. Do you see the difference? So, I mean, the same thing on the soccer field. Caleb was playing a soccer game, his very first one, and he really wasn't being real aggressive. And I heard Bob say, don't be afraid. And I heard 10 million parents telling their kids the same thing, don't be afraid. And I said, you just put the word fear in his mouth, in his head, and that he is afraid. instead tell him how you're so aggressive. You're so aggressive. And it can change. Okay. So, and it did change, actually. He did really good after that. All right, so you're going to replace it, but you can't just replace it. You have to repeat it. And that's where the affirmations, writing them out every day, gets you somewhere. But I'm going to go even one step further. There is an app you can get called Repeat It Again. It's called Repeat It Again. And what happens is you can pull up these little things to record your affirmations. So I'll go ahead and play one of mine.
I love to sweat. I love to exercise. My favorite part of the day is putting on my workout clothes and my tennis shoes and getting out there and getting it done. I love exercise. I love to push myself to the limit. I love to sweat, and I am always energetic when I do it. I have so much energy. I have got to get out and exercise and get some of that energy.
So you can repeat that over and over and over to yourself. And this is really easy if you have an excuse in your head that you don't have time to write down all your affirmations every day. Now you have no excuse. This red part is when you want to record it. So I'll show you a different one. And so I obviously want to start exercising a little more consistently. So I figure that if I keep listening to that, then one of these days I'm going to change. I was able to do this with thinking about myself as a jewel. So I'm now going to give you an example of things I said to myself, throughout this last year. Let me make sure I have the right one.
I am so bold when I talk about Plexus. I am courageous. When I speak, people want to listen to me. I influence people in a positive way. Every single person on my Facebook list wants to be on my team. They want Plexus. They want to hear what I have to say. Every person that I meet every day of the year, they want to be on my team. They are attracted to my positive attitude. They are attracted to my smile. They are attracted to my charisma. They want to be a part of what I have. What I am holding in my hand is golden. It is gold. It is jewels. It is freedom. And what I have, I want to give to others. And I can't wait to tell them about it. I can't wait to have them feel the same way that I do, have the same things that I now do. That is how special Plexus is. That is how special I am.
Okay, I know that probably sounds a little vain, but some people, they don't have a problem with themselves, but you can use that. I still do. So but this can go for anything. So you notice I used it for exercise. Let's say you have difficulty following up with people. Like you don't like it, you have a hard time. So then you just say, well, I don't have time, and you make excuses so you don't have to do it. You can do the same thing. I love following up with people. I follow up with people every single Friday. My customers and my potentials, they love it when I message them on Facebook and follow up with them. So you can take any of those things that you struggle with and put it in this nice little app and listen to it anytime. And I really think it is beneficial, not just for your business, it's beneficial for your family. I heard one of my kids the other day say something, and another one of my kids said, "Don't say that about yourself. That's not a truth." And tried to help them restate it. We are setting up. I think about my Katie, who wrote down, "Daddy is coming home, and you are a jewel. You are emerald this month," before I ever believed that I would be that month, before the numbers said that I would. And she got that from me. I have been saying stuff like that and changing the way we talk. Are you speaking life? So that, now we still have moments. We had one Sunday. Of course, Sunday, right? But, you know, I mean, it's better. It's better than where it used to be. But I have one warning for you. Wait, first I have one thing to say. No one is responsible for your success. Absolutely no one. Not me, not your upline, not your downline, not your sideline, not your husband, not your wife, not your kids. You. You are responsible for your success. But I have a warning for you. If you do this, if you walk away from this video and you are thinking, I'm going to change the way I think about myself, I'm going to change my life for the better, I'm going to change. If you walk out of here doing this, I'm 100% certain that Satan will try and stop you. New level, new devil. So understand that you're going to be bombarded with more negativity, whatever obstacle, perhaps it's in the form of the back office, I don't know, whatever it is, it's going to come at you. So you must be prepared with affirmations, written or otherwise, to get through it. You must. This is a choice that you have to make. I can't make it for you. Remember that Bible verse that Amber said at the beginning, let no unwholesome talk come out of your mouth. That means for yourself, not just for others. And that means out of your mind. No unwholesome talk, none. Only say what is positive according to your needs. That means finding your fears, what your needs are. And then listen. That is an action. That is taking responsibility for what you are hearing yourself say. All right. We are done. Any questions? You can unmute yourself if you have a question.
Hey, I have a question. Oh, is somebody else going or am I going?
Just go ahead, Heather.
Okay. So earlier on, sorry, I got to go back through my notes real quick. Earlier on, you started to say something, programming creates belief, and you listed out a few things. Can you go back and repeat what that was slowly so that I can write them down, please?
Okay, yes, it is programming creates beliefs. Beliefs create attitudes. Attitudes create feelings. Feelings determine action. And action creates results. Okay, was there somebody else who had a question? If so, unmute yourself. Anybody? Okay, Amber, do you want to say anything else?
Nope. I'm excited. I'm excited to see how this changes. I think it's just so we don't realize a lot of the times how we treat ourselves. Yeah. You know, we can treat others so well that we forget about treating ourselves well. So I'm excited to see people start practicing this, and for me to start practicing it more as well. So I'm excited.
All right, 90 days, guys. 90 days. You'll be sitting in convention, and I hope when they ask the jewels to stand up, you want to. You bodily move. All right. Love you all. Have a great day.